I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
All right, we're back. What's up, fellas? What's good?
All right. Let me fix my light. There's so much glare off the dome.
Justin's always so like he wants to make sure his background, like scenery, his backdrop is like perfect.
That's funny.
I need to put this in like my spare room with like the trophies behind me so it looks like I'm cool.
That'd be sick, actually. That would be sick.
I just broke down my office like literally last week. So I'm on my couch now.
You know what's funny is I gotta move in the next like 60 days, and that's been kind of stressful when like you're in between places, you know you're not going to renew the lease on where you're living, you don't necessarily know where the next place you're moving to is. But like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of will miss this little lounge area that I always podcast in, and like this backdrop's so aesthetic too that I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's perfect.
What's going on, Justin? How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good. Just chilling. What about you?
I'm just chilling, man. Sorry I kept you guys waiting. It was, dude, some days, like, I know for those of you guys listening, today is Thursday, May 29th. We typically record our episodes on Thursdays. We're trying to figure out like a better day that works for everybody. Obviously, we're always bringing on different guests too. But long story short, my Thursdays are long as fuck. Like, I've been at the gym since about 8 this morning, training clients, had to get my leg day in somewhere in the middle. I hope my coach doesn't listen to these because I'm definitely behind on water. I'm definitely behind on meals. I did not pose yet today. So I'm just a shit client and I got to check in with him in the morning. So fingers crossed that my weight's okay. But other than that, everything's good. What about you guys?
Yeah, Bryce, are you prepping right now? You're always in shape, but I see you getting leaner. And I feel like I talked about it with somebody or a patient, and I was like, I think he might be doing something, but it's hard to tell because he's always lean.
Yeah, so I wasn't. I was just getting just recomping, doing 75 hard, and then I said, fuck it, I'll requalify, run at nationals next year. And I started liking how I looked, so I was like, fuck it. I think we can make junior nationals. So now we're running at junior nationals.
So are you going to do Missouri and then junior nationals?
What's up?
Are you doing a show before junior nationals?
I qualified last year at Missouri State.
Okay, gotcha.
How many shows have you done, Bryce?
7.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been competing for
2018.
Okay, yeah, that's literally exactly when I started.
Your first one?
No, so earlier that year I did Muscle Mayhem.
Oh, okay.
And I just kind of got left out to dry by my coach a little bit. So I just kind of felt like there was a lot like left out there. So after that, I took second and third for novice and open, and then took 2 months off, and then prepped for pink, and then won the overall pink.
Yeah, dude. I remember that year. Scott, you don't know, but we had like, 7 people or something like that from House of Pain all compete at Pink Muscle. And everybody like took home hardware. Bryce had an overall with a trophy that was damn near as tall as me. And then I think Sam won the overall for his division.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Nicole like LaFiore? I think she won an overall, and Monica and Greg and I competed, and Big Mike.
Big Mike won the novice overall.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so cool. Like
it was
the
fun.
gym out of right now, we have basically like a competition team. And so essentially like we'll do these meetings where some of us are obviously a little bit deeper in the game than others or more advanced. And so it's just cool where like I get excited when I hear someone who's going to compete for the first time because it brings me back to like when I first got into it. And it's really exciting to see someone kind of like make that decision, flip that switch. But also it's just like really cool when you get to that show day and like, again, you have that support of like your entire community, like friends, family, teammates, and just everyone from that gym. And then especially like Justin said, you guys all place well, you all win. And like, it's just so cool. You're all standing there like, damn, like we're that squad. We're them.
It was pretty sick. We had like a group photo shoot afterwards, and it was just everybody standing with medals and trophies. It was pretty cool.
That was dope. Before we jump into it too deep, welcome back, guys. Episode 10. We made it 10 episodes. Holy shit.
Double digits.
We didn't quit yet, but we got special guest today, Bryce Parrott. If you guys don't know who he is, go give him a follow on Instagram. Dude's got a sick physique. And that's why when Justin asked today, like, are you getting ready for a show? Because I was looking at your page before we hopped on today. I'm like, yeah, dude, you look shredded right now.
Been dieting for almost a month.
Okay. What's your height and weight right now?
6'1", like exactly, and about 204 to 207.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna just throw it out there, but we're about the same weight right now. I woke up at 203, but you got a few inches on me, so I just look round and you look great.
Yeah, Bryce is like lean year round. He never gets out of shape. That's why it's like if he preps, it's almost hard to tell at the beginning because he's always looks good. Like I mean, you sent me like progress pictures like a month or two ago, and I was like, you look fucking wild right now, and you were just chilling, like not even not prepping. I think you were probably doing 75 hard or something at the time, but just always in good shape. He's one of the like few people around. Well, I don't want to say like I don't want to throw anybody else under the bus, but he keeps it tight year round.
I feel like that's kind of how I am, or how most people think of me as, where they're like, and I haven't really been posting physique photos right now, just in one of those phases where like I know I'm not where I want to be. So I'm like, let's wait till we get a little more impressive and we'll start posting some physique shit again. But it's funny because like today, someone at the gym, they're like, what do you mean, bro? You have abs. You look great. I go, yeah, I look great in the photos you see. I'm like, but there's a lot of photos I'm not posting right now where it's not as good as you think. And again, obviously we all have some degree of body dysmorphia from competing, wanting to be better, wanting to get better, whatever it is. But like, dude, when you're in a bulk, like, I mean, here I am already. I went from 170 at North Americans to I'm at 204 right now. And I'm like, yo, like I'm fat. Like it just is what it is. But we do what we got to do to get to where we want to be. So that's the name of the game.
Yeah, I wish I could put more weight on. It's tough. That's the tough thing for me.
Same.
So.
Bryce, how'd you get started with competing?
I just been bodybuilding for 15 years probably, and I just picked it up, never stopped. And then one day I said, you know what, maybe I'll try this shit, and yeah, never stopped.
It's funny because like I joke about how the first time I went to the gym, I was like 18 years old. And I don't know if I've ever told this story on the podcast, but I'll just tell like the shortened version of it. But I got into going to the gym because the guy who my sister was getting married to, he was a little bit overweight. And so he was like trying to get down to like a wedding weight, like a physique he was happy with to be in his tuxedo and all that shit. And at the time, him and I both lived in the same apartment complex at Michigan State in East Lansing. So we had like a nice little apartment gym. So he calls me one day. He's like, hey, like, let's go work out. And I laughed because I was like, I don't go to the gym. Like, I don't know anything about working out. But it was like he was looking for, that moral support. And so we started training together almost every single day. And what happened was then, the wedding comes, he gets to his goal. He's happy with how he looks. And no offense, he falls off after he hit his goal. And I just kept going with it. So it's funny now where he's like, dude, who would have thought all these years later, like you were 18 when you first started going to the gym, but I really don't even like count those years of like lifting because I was so inexperienced, so unknowledgeable. And I wasn't really like serious enough about my diet and nutrition and my training to like even consider doing a bodybuilding show. So it took me, another like 12 years from when I was 18 to even be like, okay, yeah, like I'm down to bodybuild. Let's do this. Like for real though,
That's the right way. That's how it should be.
It seems like the progression almost, at least like with guys our age, where it's like, oh, like I was going to the gym, I was training for a while. It wasn't like, oh, day one, I went to the gym and like, okay, I'm getting a pro card.
Yeah, dude, that's how it is though. That's how it is now. That's what it turned into.
Well, we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit today. I got a few spicy topics for today, especially with some of these keyboard warriors, as I know Justin has been experiencing.
Did you see my story?
I just thought.
Did you see Sam's response?
Like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's funny because like these people sit around and they're okay. So let's just get into the keyboard warriors right away then. So what we're talking about is these people who have no life. They look like shit. They don't even half the time have a real photo of themselves posted, or you look at their page and they're fat, out of shape, losers. And yet they spend the majority of their life on Instagram just talking shit on other people's posts. And so like, I know Sam Spencer, he deals with that a lot and he handles it
Yeah,
so well
dude.
because we just
Sam
laugh at
shit
it now.
makes me
It's
laugh
funny.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. I
dude,
talk to him about that all the time. It's shit's fucking hilarious. Like these people are
it's
Yeah,
like
him and I
fucking
were like
weird.
just talking about it the last day or so, and I even like commented on his post today. I was like, I'm starting to enjoy these just to watch your
yeah.
responses.
Yeah,
And
bro.
then within
Same.
like 2 hours, I get those messages, and I was like, Jesus.
It's almost like you manifested it, but
That's literally what I said to him. He responded to
yeah.
my story, and I was like, dude, I almost tagged you because I think I just manifested this.
God, yeah. Dude,
So
it's funny though. That's just humorous to me.
yeah, that's the thing. Like these people think that like I'm going home and crying at night, or like they really affected me. Like, oh, that cut so deep. But really, like here we are, just sitting on a podcast laughing at these fucking retards because it's like, dude, someone posted on Justin posted a physique update maybe an hour or two ago, and someone literally posted something. Do you want to paraphrase what he said? I can't remember.
So
It was like, imagine taking all this gear and still having a small dick. And then Sam hops in the
and he
comment
said I
section and
look
goes,
mid to
why are
have
you
a
on a
mid
random
physique
dude's
too.
page staring at his dick?
Yeah. And then he commented on a different picture where I'm wearing shorts, so you can't really see my legs. And was like,
Yeah.
why are your legs so small? And it's like, my legs are my best body part. Like,
He's
if
obviously
anything,
never
like
met
you
this
should have
guy.
said my chest is small or something. Like,
Well,
Hey, what
it's
did he look like? Did you look at his page?
he's private and he's got like a picture from 18 miles away with his back turned to the camera. You can't even see anything.
He lives in his mom's basement.
Yeah.
literally, literally,
He's
it's
like wiping off Cheeto dust and lube off his hands to type these comments.
Bro, that's
that's
fucking
a
hilarious.
combination right there.
That's
It's just
so good.
wild because like when I say like none of us would ever hop on like someone's page and just start punching down at people and be like, your physique sucks. You're trying but like somehow like these people literally get off to this shit. And it's funny because like, hey, like if that makes you feel better about your own shitty life, be my guest because we're actually like kind of enjoying it.
It
I
kind of
think it's
made my
hilarious.
night. Like, yeah, I'm like, I'm
Yeah, I
glad
thought it was funny.
because now it's something to talk about and laugh. And Sam and I were
Yeah.
talking about it too. It's like, do you really think like first, it doesn't really matter what you say as a stranger online. I'm an adult. You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Nope.
But two, attacking my body when in a non-cocky way with the way I look, like you really think that's gonna bother me? Like
Yeah, it's
I'm
so
gonna comment on like I'm gonna send Shaq a comment that calling him fucking short or something like
Right.
all right, good
bro.
one.
Shaq has more businesses than I could even count and is so wealthy and successful in his own life. Do you think he's even going to take the time to acknowledge that stupid fucking comment if you're like, you're short or your height sucks, you're too tall, whatever the fuck it is. But like
Yeah.
just when people make these negative comments, it's just comedy at this point because we're sitting here obviously laughing about it and joking about it. But like these people really think they're doing something as like a keyboard warrior. And it's like, dude, touch grass.
Yeah, like I think you actually have to be. I was gonna say retarded, but people with mental disabilities aren't that dumb. Like that's an insult to handicap people. Honestly, like you're lower than.
Agreed. Just
Yeah,
how bizarre is it to think that a professional bodybuilder has small legs? Like you're calling out a guy who's literally a professional bodybuilder.
Yeah, when you know, like you're a sack of shit. Like you're a bag of milk, buddy.
what's funny is when I saw all the comments on the particular post we're talking about, like from today, I was at the gym training my last client, and he's just a lifestyle guy, but obviously like we've been friends for probably about 8, 9 years now. And so he follows my personal like bodybuilding journey pretty closely. And so I show him the photo. He goes, oh, let me see this guy's legs. So Justin, he looks at your legs. He goes, what the fuck? He goes, what is this guy saying? Like, he's like, this guy's a pro, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's just delusional that you would even talk shit about someone who looks like that because clearly they have a better physique than I imagine the person writing the comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say my legs are bigger.
I'm gonna have to agree. You know what else is crazy, and I posted about this earlier. I'm gonna read exactly what I wrote. It was where was it? And I'll tell you where it stemmed from. Um, I said watching people on social media with limited experience critique somebody with a far superior physique is literally comedy. And where that came from is I was just scrolling through Instagram last night, minding my business, and I see somebody who is maybe, a couple weeks out from a pro qualifier. And when I say like phenomenal amateur level physique, like this guy very well could be turning pro in a few weeks. He looks great. I'm not knocking him for anything he's got going on. And I look in the comments section and I see some little 20-year-old fucking punk who's done one show that looks like a bag of milk. And his comment was, hey, bro, you need to rotate more to bring your side chest up. And that would truly be more classic. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like,
Yeah.
why are you worried about a guy's posing who has a physique you'll probably never even be close to? Like, if it were my post, I probably would have responded, who the fuck is this guy?
Dude, people have like no self-awareness these days. And I've noticed the same thing. Like, I made a post about like the science-based training. All those science-based people, I keep seeing multiple videos and they are talking about like Dorian Yates and like Phil Heath. And I'm like, you are 19 years old and weigh 130 pounds. You're not even critiquing people above you. You're critiquing the best of the best who are legends in this game. And you're telling them like what to do. I've said it a few times. I was like, that's like me telling Michael Jordan, like, if you want to learn how to shoot some basketball, like take advice from me. Like
Literally.
like, who the fuck is this guy? What are you talking about?
Who the fuck is this guy?
People just have no self-awareness. Like, honestly, I don't care what Phil Heath is doing. I'm not going to critique him.
Well, you know what the funniest part is? I think there's people out here who like will use all this scientific terminology and like try to mask that for experience. But like, congratulations, you just have an expansive vocabulary. That doesn't make you a knowledgeable person in this space. Like, you read a dictionary. I'm not impressed.
I'll be straight up, like bodybuilding, to be a good bodybuilder, you don't have to be intelligent. You have to be able to follow a plan from a coach.
Simple as that.
And I think training is honestly probably requires the least amount of like science. Like, if you like look at Branch Warren, with all due respect,
just a
trained
banger.
like a madman, and he just trained intense, terrible form, probably overtrained and like fatigued himself too much. Olympian, like a physique that most of us will never have. He definitely was like the exact opposite of science-based training. He was just hard work motherfucker. And look at what it got him, This sport, especially training, doesn't have to be super scientific. Like when it comes to the drugs or your salt and water and potassium the couple days before a show, okay, there's some science there. But when it comes to training, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, or you don't have to have a degree in biomechanics or something to fucking train hard and get it done.
Social media is just really ruining a lot of things, and bodybuilding, I feel like, unfortunately, is becoming one of them because everybody's an expert. So imagine if I hopped on my fucking Instagram live tomorrow and I put on a pair of scrubs and start talking about being a surgeon. What the fuck do I know about being a surgeon? I've never been to medical school. Do you know how many doctors that would offend? And they'd be sitting there looking like, who the fuck is that guy? What is his qualification? What is his experience? Oh, he went to Halloween USA and bought a pair of scrubs as a Halloween costume, and now he's parading around as a doctor. Like, you're a joke, bro. And it's like, the sad part is that the general population might actually think I'm knowledgeable if I spew the right information. So it's just like, dude, I don't know. Halloween is every day now on social media.
That's why I finally made a post about the science stuff, is because it wasn't even just that they were like insulting legends, because like, you're retarded, but that doesn't hurt my feelings. But I was like, the part is I see kids doing this stupid stuff in the gym. I see them doing these weird angle things and doing stuff that's either going to get them hurt or is just kind of a waste of time. When you're young, get under some decent weight, move, like just do the basics. So I just wanted to, it wasn't even necessarily to like talk trash about nerds. That was a secondary benefit. But the main point was just trying to just explain like how to train well, and obviously I have to keep it vague because there's a million ways to train. And there's a million ways to get, there's a million ways to skin a cat. But that was why I did it, is because I wanted to kind of spread like just some decent, real information versus all this crazy, scientific focus stuff that's just, again, it's missing the forest for the trees.
Let me ask you guys a question. A hypothetical situation that is very real, and I'm sure you've both encountered it. But let's say you're in the gym training, minding your own business, doing your thing, going through your workout, and you look over and as someone who is experienced, who has been doing this for a long time, you see somebody who just has terrible form, like no idea what they're doing. Are you feeling inclined to like friendly, be like, hey, bro, like you might want to try it this way, or are you just not going to say anything?
Bryce, what do you think?
There's like 90% chance I won't even look at them. When I'm training, I'm either looking at my watch and I'm looking at my offset of like when I'm waiting, my rest period, or I'm looking at the fucking ground. Like I don't want to talk to people. I don't want fucking people to talk to me. So I try to avoid every bit of eye contact. So I probably wouldn't even notice.
Bro said, fuck off, I'm training.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really close to it.
Yeah. This is part of why I like Bryce so much is like we're kind of the same. I get frustrated, like, and I want to say this so I don't offend people because I do get business. I have clients and patients from the gym. So I have to be cordial and I do have to entertain people sometimes because I have, again, I have a lot of patients and clients from the gym. However, when I'm there, I don't want to work. I'm there to fucking train. Like this is, becoming a career, now. It's not even just a hobby. Like this is a huge part of my life. I don't want to fucking talk to people. And, to be honest, the only reason I said I didn't want to offend people is because I'm not trying to like make clients feel bad or something. But at the same time, sometimes some people need to learn boundaries. I'm there to work out, not to work. There's a difference. And quick conversations, hi, bye, what's up, are fine. But like, I'm not going to sit here and spend 10 minutes talking to you about your shoulder. Make an appointment or call me. But Bryce gets it. Like most of the time when we see each other, we'll work out and like we'll just do a head nod or like kind of acknowledge each other and we'll wait until the end of the workout to actually like talk or anything. We just there to get our fucking shit done and we both kind of like know that. And so Bryce has always been one that like respects that like I'm training and I respect that he's training and we'll quick little head nod and we'll be next to each other without saying a word for 40 minutes just training and then we might chat when we're done or something.
No, and that's totally fair. I mean, the reason I bring it up is there's one guy in particular I see at the gym, and almost like some of my clients have even noticed how shitty his form is. And he was doing this one like shoulder movement the other day that like I'm just watching. It's like nails on a chalkboard. And like the coach in me wants to go over, not because I'm trying to pick up a new client, but I'm just like, hey, bro, like instead of actually swinging it like this, if you control it, you're actually doing more correctly what you should be to work that front delt without potentially ruining your rotator cuff. But so like when I see that shit, like the coach in me wants to help, but also it's like, there's no nice way to walk over somebody, even no matter how I phrase it and be like, hey bro, your form is shit. Like, cause that's essentially what I'm telling somebody. What's that?
Say, hey, you look like a dumbass.
No. Yeah. Hey bro, you fucking suck. No, it's like one of those things where like this guy has a decent physique, but like the way he trains, even with like his lat pull downs, this dude's never once engaged his lats. He literally just like swings with it back and forth like this. So I like hopped on the machine the other day. Go, okay, let's just benefit of the doubt. Maybe he knows something I don't. So what do? I'm like, nope, he's retarded.
Imagine if he had a proper trainer and he could actually like train, the right way, what he would look like.
I just think that like when someone has an okay or decent looking physique and they clearly train like a retard, you said it just now. Like imagine how much better they could be if they actually understood time under tension, proper form, mind muscle connection, instead of like, I don't know, it's almost like this guy's trying to get in and get out as fast as possible. And if that's your goal in the gym, you've already lost.
Yeah.
So
whenever I see that stuff, like I want to say something, but I know it's not going to come off in like a nice way most of the time.
Right.
Most of the time I am judging. If I do see some stupid shit, I am like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And then I'm like, even if I have like that good, good part of me is like, you should help. I'm like, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dick.
Yeah.
Whatever. And I just err on the side of kind of minding my own business. I'm like, if he wants to ego lift or train like an idiot, that's on him. Like, I'm going to worry about myself.
I think if maybe like he approached me and like, hey, bro, I see you in here all the time. I'm so-and-so. And there may be like a bit of a relationship or a friendship there. I wouldn't feel like I'm cold approaching him and trying to tell him his form sucks. But essentially, like, it does come from a good place because, like, I don't want to see someone walk out of the gym fucking ripping their shoulder out of their socket. Like, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to somebody else. My whole thing is like, I want to train responsibly and effectively so I can come back again and do it again tomorrow and the next day. And then, oh, it's a rest day. Okay, cool. Take that day off and I'll be back the next day. But like my biggest fear was always, injury prevention, because it's like, well, if I get hurt, then I'm clearly not going to be a good bodybuilder because I'm going to have to take time off. I'm going to have to recover, maybe get a surgery. So knock on wood, it was just like, I'm trying to build the best version of myself, also in like a rational way that makes sense, where I'm not like going to be disabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else has become a pet peeve of mine? And I just saw this earlier, but it's coaches online who are just flexing money instead of like their clients. And what I mean by that is like, you see all these coaches now where it's like such a trendy thing. Look at me at the Louis store buying this watch, buying this bracelet. It's like, bro, I don't give a fuck about your Louis bag. Show me what you actually did to help people. Like, I don't care about materialistic objects. So when I see people who are just like boasting how good of a coach they are by what luxury items they're buying, I'm like, dude, you fucking suck as a person. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to call him out by name, but I just saw this dude over in Houston, and he's literally at the Louis store flexing. I bought this. I bought that. I can afford to do this. DM me for one-on-one coaching. I'm like, who is DMing you? Because you clearly don't care about your clients. You just care about the money that you're taking.
Yeah, that's wild.
Dude.
That guy will be broke in 5 years or less.
I just
Also, I gotta judge dudes who do that. Like, I don't know, like I'm really not a materialistic person. Like I like nice things, but then like buying Louis to me sounds wildly stupid. Like unless I'm buying it for my girlfriend or wife or something like that, like what do I need a $3,000 belt for? Or like to me, and I don't know, I grew up poor, so that's probably just the poor kid in me talking, but I don't understand why you buy like a $300 shirt or or like $1,000 shirt, some Balenciaga bullshit, or again like Louis stuff. To me, I'm like, what does that do? If it doesn't have an engine or like can't drive fast, why would you spend thousands of dollars on it? Like
it
I
just
just
it's
find
like
that kind of weird. So seeing a guy like flex buying a Louis belt or like wearing Gucci fucking slides, I'm like, you're a tool.
yeah, it's just like you're flexing the wrong thing. And it's just become like, and again, going back to how social media is just ruining the fitness industry, people are all just all, look at me, look at me. But it's like, why don't you go from look at me to, hey, look how I helped this person get healthy. Look at how this person was, God forbid, suicidal. And through working with them in the gym, I was able to change their mindset and their outlook on life. And they're still here. Like that to me is a fucking accomplishment, not your gay ass Louis belt. Like, don't get me wrong, I like nice shit, but I'm also at a point in my life where I just am so not materialistic that like, Justin, if you ever see me on Instagram flexing material shit, just kick me in the dick when you see me. Like seriously.
I've
Could
never
never be
seen
me.
that.
Could never be me.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's enough of my pet peeves for the day. But speaking of things going on social media, tell me you guys have seen this whole Greg Doucette, Hussein Farhat, fake natty bullshit.
No, I don't know who
I
is
didn't see that either.
Okay,
who is
so for context, I'll fill you guys in, and for those of you guys watching who maybe haven't seen it, but long story short, there is this guy. His name's Hussein Farhat. He had a ridiculous transformation. I'll pull it up. Let me hold on. Let me share my screen. Let me see how to do this again. Sorry, guys, I'm not the most.
Is it you said Greg Doucette?
Yeah. Where's the screen share? Share. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, I think I'm sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me type in Hussein Farhat transformation. Okay. So basically this is what we're getting at. You guys can see this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can read in the title, my 2.5, I think he really said 3 year, but natural body transformation. So I guess right off the rip, I'll ask you guys, natty or not, like, do you think this is achievable naturally?
Photoshop.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a lot of Photoshop to start.
So basically what had happened is this guy Hussein came out of nowhere on social media. He got really popular on TikTok for those exact photos I showed you where it was that transformation. Obviously, he's claiming natural. So Greg Doucette, obviously, this guy pops up on his radar. He starts making natty or not videos on him, saying there's absolutely no way he's natural. Like, look at this transformation. No fucking way. They then start doing collabs together. The guy somehow has blood work that, and again, we all know how this goes, but he has blood work that at that point in time proves he's natural. But taking it one step further, the guy then hops into a natural bodybuilding show. He wins. And so there, as of the last, I don't know, week, there was a smaller YouTube channel that started making these like documentary style hit pieces and basically saying like, this guy's a fake natty, Greg's covering for him, yada, yada, yada. And it's become like a huge, huge thing in the last week on social media. And the only reason I'm talking about it is because I just wanted to publicly say, if you are not natural and you compete in a natural bodybuilding show, you are a piece of shit. Period.
You're an asshole.
Also, what was the blood test or the test that he took that proved he's natural? Because if you just get lab work done, it's not going to say whether you've taken test or not. Either you're
big bold letters, natural, not natty.
Yeah. Even if it's high, that doesn't necessarily
This guy's
mean
natty.
you just might have a high test level. And then even if you take a drug test like they would for like weed or cocaine or heroin, as long as you're off of it long enough and it's out of your system, you're just not on currently.
That just means he's between 500 and 600 because that's
Yeah.
natural fucking level, right?
Yeah,
Well,
you could get as long as your blood work looks good, you could even be on gear right then and there if you're
So-
not in a normal range.
So before Justin, you hopped on, Bryce and I were talking about cheating drug tests for other compounds and substances, which even myself, I'll admit, I've learned how to do but not for gear, for something else. But anyways, point being is, I don't know. I just think as a whole, like, again, if no one cares at this point, if you're natty or not, like, I don't think anyone gives a shit. It's when you lie about it. But then to me, it's like I said, if you have taken anything to enhance your physique, and you're going to then enter into a natural bodybuilding show, I think that's pretty fucked up. But here's the one thing I will say is, all right, this is my take on it. I don't know if the guy's natty or not, nor do I really give a shit. But what I do think is that I'll put myself in his position. Let's hypothetically say I'm a fake natty. Why would I then enter a natural show that I have the potential risk to be tested and out myself? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you would have to be some special type of retard to be like, no, I'm natural, but then also put yourself in the position to be tested where someone's going to be like, you're not natural, you're a liar, you know? So I don't know.
I do think if you are a fake natty, you are retarded enough and you would do that. Like, because again, especially in bodybuilding, this isn't any other sport where like PEDs are frowned upon. PEDs are just a part of our sport.
Right.
There's no denying that. So no one judges anybody other than dorks on the internet about PED use. Like, we all know it's part of this. Like, all the chicks are on it. We know that. So it's not a weird thing. It's not even really taboo. You know, we might not be posting our full cycle on our Instagram posts, but it's not even a hidden thing. So anybody that claims they're natural when they're not is kind of fucking dumb in the first place. And I mean, I know there's plenty of people that do cheat and do natural shows. Like, I know it happens.
That's been happening for a long time.
Dude,
Yeah.
I maybe it's the way I was raised, my moral compass. I just can't wrap my head around being that retarded. Like why would you do a natural show? If you're blasting or even just cruising, wouldn't you at least want to see how you stack up against guys that have like, because again,
that just shows me he probably really doesn't look that good in real life.
And
he probably really is not that big in real life.
And he doesn't think he can beat like legit people.
Yeah, because
I see the dog's paws. I just see the paws. Justin's like in the middle, and just you see the paws.
I got a needy girl over here.
Hey, sweet girl.
Hi, baby girl.
That's so cute. Is she natty or no? My dog's not natty.
No, she's actually on a steroid because she has seizures.
Dude, I was gonna say my dog's not natty either. Like, she's got allergies. They have to give her a steroid like every couple months. Not even my dog's natural.
That's funny. Everybody's got it.
I think for me, like, okay, let's say for example, at a certain point, yes, I obviously crossed over to being enhanced. But at that point, I mean, I've never thought about competing in a natural show, but I think you have to be a special type of idiot or just mental disability to be like, yeah, no, I'm natural. I'm going to compete in a natural show when you're clearly enhanced. Like, that's fucking retarded to me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like you said, you just lack morals and integrity. That's a shitty thing to do.
I don't know.
Agreed.
And also, no disrespect to like OCB or any of those natty organizations, but like, I think the way I heard somebody say it back in the day, it's like, well, there's like WWE and then there's everything else, and no one gives a fuck about everything else. Like to be honest, so it's like that's how I look at like there's NPC IFBB and then there's everything else, and I don't give a fuck about the rest of the
That's
league.
how I see it as well.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I was just
I mean,
curious
that's
about your guys'
personal.
take on that because it's like literally like hundreds of thousands of views over multiple YouTube videos. All these different channels are hopping on, talking about it. And again, I don't give a fuck if you're natty. I don't care if you're not. But at the end of the day, when you lie about it, you mislead people, you're using it for financial gain. And then also, you're now potentially cheating someone out of their genuine natural effort and hard work. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, if you're lying for some and financially gaining, that's not ever right.
Yeah, it's
That's
weird.
never right. So,
All right, you know what? Actually, let's talk about this one because he just replied to one of my comments. So we got a show coming up this weekend. I'll pull it up, and the top two. Hold on, let me go back to my screen share. Share. All right, you guys can see this.
Yeah.
All right, let me go to Bodybuilders Without Borders. Shout out Bodybuilders Without Borders.
who's
But
that stud?
what's that?
I said, who's that stud?
So let's see where.
I think it went over his head.
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Cut out. Sorry. One more time.
No, it's too late. You fucking lost it.
He's like, bro, you just suck now.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to reference. So okay, there is the Legion Sports Fest coming up, and these are two of the top two classic guys. On the left, you've got Brock Jenkins. On the right, you've got Andy. I'm sorry if I'm saying his last name wrong. Paratus, I think. But Andy actually just won the Optimum Classic last week and is qualified for the Olympia. Brock, I believe, got second place at the Utah Cup recently. So these are like the top two favorites to win. And dude, I mean, like I'm looking at both these physiques. I'm like, fuck, dude, both these guys look insane right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I saw
tough.
those comparisons.
Yeah, they
Let me
both
see.
look.
Oh, here, there's more photos. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like, dude, both of these guys look fucking insane.
I got to see them right next to each other. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. But I mean,
That's
like, I'll tell
Yeah,
you
I
what,
was saying
like,
it's tough when there's different lighting. They both look crazy, but obviously it comes down to show day because we always see the progress pictures and stuff, and they look
Yeah.
sick.
right.
And
Yeah,
then
it never
some
tells.
of them, like their progress
Really.
pictures are a week out, look better than they do on stage because they don't hit their peak right.
Right.
yeah, that's true.
They both look awesome. It'll be interesting to see.
Um, yeah, I
I
was
like
just
that
curious.
relaxed of the Andy guy. That last photo, that was a pretty awesome.
Dude, his waist is nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, I like for me, I mean, there's certain guys who like I'll follow their journey. So, Justin, you were actually at the show Andy turned pro at. That was Vegas 2023. I was there as well in the crowd,
Okay.
and I remember seeing him. That was also the year, same year Austin Espy went pro. So like guys who obviously you kind of like take a little stock in their professional career now because you were there when they earned their pro card. But like, dude, Andy, like I've watched his progress now over the last few years, and it's just fucking crazy. Like seeing that he's qualified for the Olympia now, and also like relative to I started following Brock because he trains out of some of the gyms I used to train at in Vegas. So just relative to like my old stomping grounds. But long story short, like I think it's going to be a great matchup, and I love these little like rivalries, if you will, that get created on social media because it does obviously help the sport. It feeds more into it. But like, dude, just looking at it, I'm like, fuck. They're also both relative to my height. I'm like, damn, I gotta fucking put my foot on the gas.
That's what I thought earlier, literally when I saw that.
Dude, it's like Brock, or Bryce, sorry, the first time I met Justin, I looked at him and I was kind of like sizing him up. I'm like, this guy's my height. He's fucking huge. What the hell? Like, I was like, yo, it's crazy. Crazy. I got one more, and this kid, I think we've talked about him before. Here, let me go back to the screen share again one more time. All right, you guys can see this again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kid, he's 19 and he's done a couple shows already. I think he's got
Oh,
another
yes.
pro qualifier coming up. You guys seen this guy?
Yeah, I saw this kid.
Oh yeah, I recognize that photo.
Bro. Imagine you're 19 years old and you
19?
look like that.
Yeah, that's fucking
Fuck off.
nuts.
Good for him. Fuck you. Like, I'm happy for him, but goddamn. I look
Like,
like
bro,
a child
Look at
at
his fucking
19.
arms. Jesus Christ.
dude, 19 years old?
They're
Like, what the
little
fuck?
waist, like he's in good shape. Good for him. It's weird
So,
because the body doesn't look like the body doesn't match the face. He's still a child, you can see.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
he's got a baby face on a man's body, but like I see
Yeah.
someone like that who it's like again, we talk about all the time how like there is, yeah, obviously he's not natural, duh. But like clearly genetically, like to achieve that at such a young age, to have such mature muscle bellies and insertions, like, dude, I look at that shit, I'm like, yo, this shit's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Good for him.
Shout
That's
out. I think you say Albertus is his name, but yo, shout out at that dude because I wish I looked like that now, let alone 19.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, I got a few more on here today. These aren't really bodybuilding related, but you know, we always kind of jump around. But you guys been keeping up with this Diddy trial at all?
Um, I've heard a little bit. I feel like I don't know much. I heard there's some pretty vulgar stuff going on, which is to be expected from, just the base knowledge of it. But I don't know a ton of details.
Uh, all I'm really gonna say about it is that shit is fucking crazy. And a lot of it kind of makes sense. Like you just hear like some of these testimonies that people are giving, like famous people talking about just like the intimidation, the sex trafficking, the domestic abuse, all this shit. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, this is a shitty fucking dude right here. And now, like, I'll be in the gym and like a Diddy song comes on. I'm like, we changed that. I feel kind of guilty listening to this. Like Bad Boy for Life is not a banger anymore.
No.
And then like so like God forbid like a Justin Bieber song comes on after I'm like that poor kid got raped like that's not cool either.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I
like,
have
it's
like a
just
newfound respect for Bieber after hearing some of the things. And like when he's going it looks like he's kind of going off the rails right now. And I'm like, I would be batshit crazy. I probably would have killed myself, to be honest. Like if I went through that shit, when I see Bieber like doing his weird shit, I'm like, I feel bad for him. And I'm like, I get it though. Like, fuck.
yeah.
I definitely don't judge him too harshly for it, for anything he
No, I
does. You know what I
well
mean?
I'm
I
like,
saw
he's
some
he's going through some shit, dude. Like he's been going through some shit.
well
Basically his whole life now. He was a child when he got famous.
Exactly.
Child. And then you guys probably seen it now. I've seen some of the videos that kind of opened up my eyes about him. He's been just being sexually harassed by adults since he was like 15. Like
yeah.
openly in front of people. Girls are like grown women are grabbing him and touching him and smelling him and asking him to perform naked. And you can see it. He will even say it. He's like, "You're making me uncomfortable." And he's like a 14-year-old boy, and they're like being weird. And it's like this child is clear. Like he's not only visibly, but he stated he's not comfortable. And you guys are like doing this on award shows, like stages in front of the world. And it was just like no one was like, "Hey, that's sexual harassment."
It's so like disturbing to me. We live in a world where like even you guys probably won't know the name of it, but there's some mall out here called Arizona Mills, and it's like kind of in the ghetto. Sorry if you live over in that side of town, but it it was on my radar at one point in time. I went there looking for a pair of sneakers, and lo and behold, this shop had them. So I took my ass to the ghetto. But long story short, they have like a watchtower, like almost like a lifeguard, like tower in the middle of the parking lot. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I come to find out it's because that is one of the most densely populated areas where sex trafficking happens. And I was like, what the fuck? And so they have like literally police who are in a watchtower just like looking for shady shit happening in the parking lot because it's so heavily involved with sex trafficking. And I was like, dude, this is like not even 10 miles from where I live. And granted, like I think I live in a nice area, but regardless, I'm like, when something that's just so foreign to me. Like if I said to you guys, I know you guys are kind of relative to the same area in St. Louis, but if I were like, hey, 10 miles south, they got a big sex trafficking ring, you'd probably be like, what the fuck? Like, where are we living?
It is kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, we live in an area. I don't know if we have a lot of sex trafficking here, but there's a lot of crime. Like you can be in a decent area, and then within like 3 blocks, it gets real sketchy. Or you cross the bridge and go to East St. Louis. That's not a place you should be.
Right.
Crazy, bro. It's crazy. I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around a lot of these like things because I'm just so like, I mean, dude, I eat, sleep, train, repeat, and play with my dog. Like that's literally all I fucking do. So when someone's like, "Oh my God, did you hear about so and so in the sex trafficking ring?" I'm like, that exists? Like that's real? I thought that was just like in movies and shit.
Yeah.
I guess I just live in a bubble.
That reminded me, with the Diddy stuff, I saw something or someone said like, was DMX talking about Diddy in one of DMX's songs? I don't remember which one it was. It might have been like X gonna give it to you or something. But he says something about like homo N words. He's like, even if we squash the beef, I am touching your hand. And like said something about that and something about like fucking dudes. And then when the Diddy stuff came out, somebody was like, was DMX telling us about Diddy back then? Like, who was that line about? And I listened to it. I'm like, he's calling someone gay. He's calling someone, a faggot. I was like, huh, that's interesting.
You see a lot of people who are now like coming out, like a lot of like Hollywood actors that are giving their 2 cents on the whole subject, or not like exposing other people, but I think the actor Terrence Howard started talking about like why he left Hollywood and why he doesn't do like mainstream shit anymore. And then he started, I think he was on a podcast recently talking about like basically some of the celebrities he knows were involved in this Diddy shit. And I'm just like, dude, like just give me a hot chick. That's really all I need. Just one. Like call me basic, but like, bro, I don't know. This shit's crazy. Like it's just so far beyond what I can even comprehend that it's like at no point have I ever had a girlfriend where I was like, hey, you know what would really turn me on? I'm gonna hit up one of the homies, tell him to come smash her while I sit in the corner.
And
What?
I'm gonna watch.
Like what?
I feel like that's still too like normal compared to what Diddy was doing. That's still
Yeah,
not.
that'd be like, yeah, that's taking it easy on him.
That's like an average night where they're like, you know what, this weekend was weird. Like, let me just call two of the guys over to take care of you tonight. Like, I'm not feeling it tonight.
Dude.
Take it
So
easy.
I don't know. And then I guess like obviously too like different countries where like over in Europe, I guess where obviously like prostitution and like all that shit is just the norm. Like you could go get coffee and a joint and then next door there's like hookers just for sale. I'm like, dude, like that's crazy to me. It's a weird world we live in, guys. It's a weird fucking world.
It
It's hard to,
is.
it's hard to like wrap your head around some of that shit.
Speaking of weird shit, so this is super weird. I'm just gonna apologize in advance, but you guys ever heard of Mormons and soaking? Like, do you know what that is?
I didn't till Justin told me about it just
Dude,
yesterday.
Give
wait,
us
you
the
guys were just
definition.
talking about this
I
yesterday?
think I talked to Bryce about it. I think I know what it is. So I told him, I was like, I think that this is what it is. And he was like,
Oh,
what the fuck? And I'm like, that's what
okay.
I think.
So I don't even know how, dude. I guess when you're just training people, the weirdest fucking conversations come up in between sets. And I think one of my clients was talking about Mormon religion, and then I was like, "What is that like soaking thing everyone talks about with Mormons?" So I'll explain what I know of it, and this is why I'm like, "What in the actual fuck?" So the way soaking was explained to me was like, say for example, Bryce was Mormon. Okay, we're just gonna play along here and they don't believe in like premarital sex. So I guess soaking is the act of like just the tip, but you don't thrust. But then one step further, it would be like him being like, "Hey, yo, Justin, if you're free at like 8:30 tonight, you mind coming over and like shaking the bed for me so we can like do this without doing it?" When I heard that part, I was like, wait. So there's now a third person involved, and you're basically just playing just the tip, but then you have one of your boys come over and like shake the bed so you can kind of get a little motion in the ocean, but technically by Mormon culture, you're not. Like, what the fuck?
I don't it's like a loophole, but it sounds like the whole like anal doesn't count as premarital sex. Like,
I
does
don't
it?
know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it does. I think that
Like,
counts.
you can't stick it in and shake the bed and then like not call it something. Like,
I feel like when you're fucking once you enter in there, dude, you're having sex, right?
yeah,
Like,
once it's in,
Yeah,
that's sex.
like penetration is penetration. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
what are we
like
saying?
what are we
You
talking
guys are
about?
just using different stroke methods. Like, it's still in there and you're still busting.
But like, just imagine this awkward scenario where Justin, you're literally like playing just the tip, and Bryce is shaking the bed, and you're like,
Dude, I'd shake the bed
just a
for you,
little, just a little
bro.
faster. If you don't mind.
I appreciate it.
Like dab him up,
If we had to, yeah.
bro. Like, I'm sorry, but like, again, maybe I just live in this bubble, but I can't wrap my head around who, one, thought that was a good idea, two, who thinks that makes sense, and then three, how are you literally going to say it doesn't count as premarital sex when like you're literally penetrating? Like,
It
make it
doesn't
make
count. I
sense.
slipped and fell, and then once I was in, I didn't do anything. The bed was just shaking, and it happened. Like,
Bro,
also, who was the first person to do it before it became like a thing, and then was like, "Hey, Jebediah, like, come rock the bed for me." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "Don't ask questions.
just don't ask.
Put the
Just
noises
shake
I
the
make.
bed.
Don't look under the covers, and don't worry about the fact that your sister's under the covers with me."
Maybe they have like a special type of bed frame that has handles on it, so they're like, I don't know, maybe they're onto something. I don't know, dude. When someone told me this, I just shook my head, and I just was like, you said what? That shit's crazy to me. Bro, you know what? When I say like there's so many things that I can't wrap my head around in this world, it makes me grateful that I just live in this bodybuilding bubble most of the time, to be honest.
The world is fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't know what that was.
I don't
Can I
remember how
ask?
I found that out. I heard it somewhere, or it was on a movie or something.
You know what's funny is though that like randomly you guys, how did it even come up in conversation between you guys just yesterday?
He asked me, I think, what we were going to talk about, and I like took a list, and I was like, "Oh, like New York Pro, some bodybuilding stuff. We'll talk about you and Mormons and soaking." And he's like, "What is that?"
Dude, I had no clue.
Well, I'm glad I can be out here educating as well. You know, I'm glad I can
Little sex
teach people
education
something
today.
new each day.
I
I don't know if
learned
what I'm
something
teaching is
today.
accurate, but I guess I'm just as knowledgeable as the 20-year-old bodybuilder on Instagram when it comes to Mormons and soaking.
Yeah, but pro tip: if you guys don't want to have premarital sex, you just soak.
Just
I
shake the
didn't
bed.
know about the bed shaking either yet, so that's awesome.
The bed shaking was the new. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
So what I will say to kind of put a cap on this topic, I did a just basic Google search, which I was a little afraid to do. Definitely had to clear my search history after that, but it says it's more of like urban myth. But also, I feel like if enough people are talking about it, it's got to be valid. You know?
It definitely happened at some point. Like stereotypes and like those like someone's done it. It's happened.
It's happened way more than a few times. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's on. It's
I just can't even imagine like as a religious belief, the girl I'm like hanging out with, I'm like, hey babe, like we're gonna smash, but we're not gonna smash. Like I got an idea.
I mean, if you, I don't know. I just feel like if you actually gave a fuck about your beliefs, then you wouldn't want to.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
And if you didn't give a fuck, then you would just have sex.
Yeah.
If you're as religious as you claim you
You
are,
know what I
then
mean?
you wouldn't even be like going through this whole weird
Yeah, if you're
navigation
doing
of
that,
like,
like,
hey
are
bro,
you
you
really
free?
that
Can you come
devoted to
over?
your religion? Like, why don't you just dip out and either pick none or pick one that you agree with? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just shit's just fucking weird, bro. Shit's just weird. All right, anyways, back to some
People are
bodybuilding
weird.
shit. Back to some bodybuilding shit. So, all right, Bryce. So potentially doing a show, how far out would that put you right now?
22 days.
Oh shit. Damn. That's coming up quick. How are your calories right now? Where are you at?
So I was at 4,000 until last week, and now I'm at a little bit over 3,000.
Most people would say that's crazy, but like I personally have a very fast metabolism too. So like my show in 2023, I cut on 3,000 calories and I was probably the most shredded person there. And like people couldn't wrap their head around that. And then also too, like, it doesn't happen that way every single show because then the following year, 2024, I was at like 1,800 calories. So like, but it's just like, it's crazy when you still have like the ability to put down that much food and get as lean as you are.
Yeah. So normally I just do, I would do like at least burger and fries every single week, even into the show week for loading. I would load even 2 or 3 burgers, you know what I mean? And then, so now I do 75 hard even during preps. So I don't do any bullshit. Everything's just what I start prep with is what I eat. And that's what I go into shows with.
Do you find certain aspects of 75 hard are more challenging because you're also focused on a bodybuilding prep, or do you feel that it kind of just aligns and is more of like a benefit of following structure?
I probably do more cardio than I should do, but other than that, I mean, it makes me better in every other aspect. So I can't really say it's hurting me.
Yeah. I did
Yeah, even
75
with like
hard.
doing a little bit more cardio than maybe you need, then you probably get to eat a little bit more. So
That's where that extra calories, you know what I mean? There's my 3,000,
yeah,
4,000.
I mean, you got a minimum of 45 minutes a day, 7 days a week.
And dude, I'm slow walking. Like,
Yeah, low steady state.
yeah, dude, as slow as I can't, I'm not like forcing myself to go over probably 2 miles an hour.
How much cardio are you doing? I'm imagining just like low steady state.
75 a day.
What's that? 75 minutes?
75. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and again, like just as someone, this isn't going to work for everybody. So don't like be like, oh, I could do the same thing and get shredded. But like for me, I've never really had to go above 30 minutes at maybe a 6 incline and 3 or 3.5 miles per hour to get right. And that was still at those 3,000 calories a day. But what I was going to say is I did 75 hard for the first time for me earlier this year. And the only habit that stuck with me was still like getting the 10,000 steps a day, like making sure I'm active. And like, there's been maybe 3 days all year so far. Like one day I fucked up. I thought I hit my step count and that was actually in 75 hard, but I'm like, well, I mean, that would be like almost like, okay, this might sound crazy because I know if you fuck up on 75 hard, you're supposed to start over. But that would be like saying, oh, I missed a meal in prep, so I'm not going to do the show. I'm going to start prep over. Like, no, you keep fucking going because there's no such thing as a perfect prep. So like with 75 hard, I fucked up on one day with my step count, but I was like, okay, I'll just keep going. And I was honest about that. I'm not going to lie about my step count. That's fucking gay. Almost as gay as lying about being a fake natty. But so anyways,
That's worse.
probably worse. Yeah. But so anyways, there's only been like 3 days all year that I've missed 10,000 steps. And I'll be honest, I would probably be such a lazier, fatter piece of shit right now if it weren't for that structure it's given me. Where like, I don't want to say I feel like I'll combust if I don't hit 10,000 steps a day, but it's like on my radar. We're like, shit, right now before this podcast. Oh, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Oh, I'm already done for the day. We're good. I'm at 10,300. We're good. I'm done. I don't need to walk anymore today. But it's one of those things where like, I know that's helping me keep some semblance of my midsection. It's helping with posing. It's obviously cardio, but like I haven't touched a treadmill since August of last year and I don't plan on it, but I'll still remain active, whether it's taking my dog for a walk, getting steps in at the gym between sets, or just being mobile throughout the day, you know?
Yep. I've done preps where I've done zero cardio and I get just as lean.
I had a guy, Mike, that was a teammate early on in my career, 2018, 2019, and he would pride himself on not having to do any cardio and he would get peeled out of his mind. And I don't know, it almost makes me wonder, would he be in even better shape if he did do just a little bit of cardio? But there's some guys who can really truly get away with it. And then also too, like my concern as someone who, when I say like, I don't have the most size, I'm always someone who's trying to put size on. So it's like, I almost don't want to go overboard with the cardio. And then I get so lean that I've now pulled off like any potential muscle tissue that I clearly need.
Right. Yeah, I've never really seen a guy do no cardio and have peeled glutes though. So let me know when you find that guy.
I'll be honest, like I think in my experience, Stairmaster, like when I really, really needed to get a bit more dialed, a bit more shredded, that was kind of like what separated me. And like obviously still doing treadmill, but then just switching up, maybe like three days treadmill, 4 days stairs, or vice versa, whatever it was. But like I think the Stairmaster, again, if you're already in good shape, you already have a good amount of muscle, like you shouldn't have to go that hard on the cardio. And like for example, right now I've got one of my guys who I do his training and his posing. I don't do his nutrition. I don't do his supplement protocol. And so sometimes there's almost too many cooks in the kitchen, but he's already lost 32 pounds and he's still 10 weeks out. And when I say like, Justin, you know, my guy Henry, I post pretty frequently, the big black guy. So he started at 260. He's already down to 228. And I saw him post something yesterday on the treadmill late at night, and he goes 2 for 2. And I said, "Are you doing 2 cardio sessions a day?" He was like, "Yeah." I go, "Bro," I go, "cut back to just 1 right now." And I hate to kind of like overstep into what his protocol is, but like when I see how much size he's losing, now I know why.
How far out is he still? You say he's got 10 weeks, but it sounds like he should have chose a different show or started earlier.
Dude, he's so ahead of schedule right now. Like when I say he's so lean, where I'm almost like, are you getting refeeds? Like, and he is still having refeeds once a week, but like, just my concern was like when I saw someone drop that much weight so quick in, the first 5-6 weeks of prep, but I didn't realize he was doing 2 cardio sessions a day. And I was like, bro, like you weren't fat to begin with. You didn't have much to pull off.
Likely too, yeah.
Exactly. And that's where like he's someone who is genetically very gifted. So I think he'll do well in his class. I believe he'll win his class fairly easily. He'll compete for the overall. It of course depends who shows up. But just when you see someone who's so big, so full, and then they get so lean so quick, well, now I know why. And I was like, shit, bro. I was like, so I told him today, I was like, hey, not to overstep and mess with the protocol your coach has got you on, but I think you should probably only be doing 1 30-minute cardio session today. You aren't the type of guy who needs 60 minutes 6-7 days a week.
Cardio is a tool. It's not like, you know what I mean? You don't just throw it in there just because.
Yeah.
You use it when you need it.
Yeah.
If you have the cardio earlier, then when you need to dial in, you're not going to have that play.
Yeah. The biggest thing is I don't want guys to lose the size that they already had, because they overdid cardio. Like that's crazy to me. Let me ask you this, because Bryce, you're in prep right now and obviously deep into it, but are there any like major pet peeves you have in the gym where like it just drives you crazy as you're like so locked in on your own program right now?
That's tough. I just went back to House of Pain. Love that gym, but there's a lot of fucking idiots there. So like I just got to stay away from them.
Well, that's where obviously, like you said, like headphones in, head down, just working hard. And
Exactly.
that's typically me too. And I think most of the time, like people with Justin, people with me, they know like if you see me with my headphones in, that's me time. Like don't bother me. But just like, I don't know. There's lately, I'll tell you what, one thing that's been bothering me, and again, I always have these pet peeves, but dude, people overusing bands on the dumbest shit. Like you don't need to band every single machine. And it's like, what are we doing? Like the only machine I'm using bands on is hack squat. That's literally it.
Yeah. I'll use to warm up with.
Yeah, there you go. Warm up with it. That's it. That's the only movement.
About it. I'm not a big band guy.
And the thing is, like, people will do like they'll see shit online, and then they'll just do it like not knowing why they're doing it. This isn't bands, but I've seen some kids. They were using like the wrist straps on the Smith machine to grab. So they were, grabbing the straps that are attached to the Smith machine bar to do squats like this. And I'm watching them, and these kids they're kids, and 130, 140 pounds. And I'm like, you just saw a pro do this and you have no idea why. And now you're replicating it, not understanding that there's no reason for you to do it. The reason the pros are doing that is because of lack of mobility in their shoulders, because I have a lack of mobility in my shoulders. And I do it because it's hard for me to grab a bar like this, or I have to grab like on either end like this. And you're 130 pounds. You don't lack the shoulder mobility to have to do that. You just saw someone do it, and now you're copying it with no understanding of why they're doing it. And it's like I'll see that, and I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. Like,
Make it make sense.
It's one thing to like of course watch people who are farther along or know what they're doing and learn from them. But that's the thing, is you have to learn from them and understand why they're doing it and understand if that's applicable or useful in your situation. And they're doing that for mobility issues because they're 250 pounds, 280 pounds, and they can't fucking touch their ears with their hands. Not because it's like necessarily better for hypertrophy. It's just because they don't have good mobility. And then you see a little kid doing it and like, you're special. Like, God damn it.
There was a video I shared today of some young kid trying to obviously give like a scientific breakdown of why he's using all these extra accessories, bands, and all this bullshit on, I think it was like a leg extension, or maybe like a seated leg curl, but it was actually like Phil Viz, who I love Phil. So Phil was like responding to it, and you guys got to go watch this video. I shared it on my Instagram story, but Phil is just picking this shit apart, but rightfully so, because nothing this kid's doing makes any sense. And where you might have even like gathered that information from probably wasn't even relevant to you or what you need to be doing to actually make gains. So it's just crazy.
That's
Um, what's that?
when I started training, I just watched YouTube and Dorian Yates's training videos. That's literally how I learned. I didn't know a fucking thing, and I didn't, you know what I mean? So I just watched that and did what he
Dude,
did.
that's another thing, especially nowadays. There's an infinite amount of information on bodybuilding. Like when I started, I did the same thing. I watched YouTube, I watched Dorian, I watched pros train. I went to like bodybuilding.com and simplyshredded.com and some jacked something.com. And I looked at like all their articles on nutrition and training, how to do this, how to do this. And I just studied and researched and I like just learned and learned and learned. And now there's only, that was 10, 15 years ago when I was like doing all that. There's so much information. You can educate yourself online, or even if you were to ask a guy in the gym, like if someone came up to me and asked a question in the gym on how to do something, I would gladly help them because they're willing to learn and listen.
Absolutely.
But like we have our phones, like you have an unlimited amount of information right here on fucking anything. And you can't figure out how to do a bicep curl, or don't know why you're banding some fucking exercise. It's like, dude, it's not that hard to just do a little research and make sure you're doing something halfway decent or like halfway efficiently, or at least be able to explain. Like if I would have asked those kids why they had those straps, I should have asked them just to see what their response
Yeah.
was.
Like you go up to them and be like, "Hey, I'm so curious. Can you explain to me why you guys are doing that? I'm thinking about maybe doing the same thing, but I just want to
Yeah,
know."
you want
Yeah.
to learn.
Well, teach me your ways. But
I
no,
wish
it's
I
almost
would.
funny when you see someone doing like a silly looking movement in the gym, or like I'll sometimes see like trainers putting their clients through like the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And if I were the client, I'd be like, "Hey, can you explain to me why I'm doing this? Like, I want to know, like, because I don't see anyone in the gym hopping on one foot and turning in circles. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what benefit this has for my physique."
Yeah, that usually happens with a trainer that looks like shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
trainers that have never been in shape or are not in shape, that just blows my mind and absolutely just like again nails on the chalkboard. Because and again, I think I posted this earlier today, but
You
it's like,
did.
why would you hire somebody who's never been in shape or isn't in shape to get you in shape? What sense does that make? Like, what do they know that you can't Google or type into AI? Please tell me. It's
Yeah. For
fucking
them. It's
crazy.
not that hard.
Well, Bryce, because you're in prep right now, let me ask you this. I know obviously like food, even though your calories are still a little bit higher, is still limited. What is your go-to condiment when you're deep in a prep right now? Are you
Um,
saucing your food?
I use jalapenos and everything, or banana peppers on
Yep,
everything,
that's a good one.
and then I use a little bit of sweet and spicy mustard. Sweet and
Yeah,
spicy mustard.
dude, that sweet and spicy mustard, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And
dude. Just a
it's
little bit though. Just a little bit.
well, it's funny because like it's so thick, like just like the store brand version. But I know exactly which one you're talking about, and I would almost like cut it with a little bit of water to like make it go a bit further and like not water it down, but like it's a thick sauce. So like, dude, that's sweet and spicy mustard. But you know what's funny is like my go-to in prep is typically just like a yellow mustard. And the other day I opened my fridge, and I'm not even in prep right now, and I was just looking, I was like, yo, some yellow mustard on some chicken and rice sounds
Sounds
good right now.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I've just been like going ham on the yellow mustard the last week. I don't know why. It's been my thing.
I fuck with yellow
I'm not,
mustard.
I'm not a fan of mustard, but I used to do honey mustard,
Honey
and
mustard's
I
good.
like, yeah. And then I like looked one day because I think it was 5 calories per serving, and then I looked and the serving size was like 5 grams, and I'm like, oh, that's actually not as good as I thought it was because like I'm gonna use more than 5 grams, and
Mm,
so I switched and I just got yellow mustard, but I started mixing it with like different hot sauces, and like as long as I mix it with a different hot sauce, I can like rock with it. But I've never liked yellow mustard before, but at the end of like last prep, I was like so fucking dialed in on like I was measuring out all of my sauces, including mustard, which has like no calories in it. I was still measuring that out to the gram on all my meals.
I'm
So
about
I
to
was
pull
kind of
that
like,
that sauce out completely here
yeah,
probably tomorrow.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Hold on, pause. So this lounge I'm in is again like a public area in my community, and I don't never care if people walk in here. But a guy just walked in and he looks at me as we're talking about mustard, and he looks at me and goes, "Are you working right now?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like listening to us talk about sauces. I guess he walked
it's a
out.
good
He
thing you
kind
didn't
of
walk
just
in
like,
when we were talking about soaking.
Yeah, no shit. That'd have been way better
yeah.
time.
Just like sits down, like, huh.
There was one podcast where like one of my neighbors walked in and she was like trying to go take some selfies on the patio, Justin, you remember? And like
Oh
she
yeah.
like pops in. I was like, you can say hi, like it's not that serious, but it's just funny when like people come into this area and they're like, oh, sorry, like, are we interrupting? I'm like, no, not really. We're just talking about mustard.
Just
But
food.
okay, my go-to honestly also is like mustard with sriracha. I feel like that's like a nice combo. But dude, honestly, like Bryce, you nailed it with like the jalapeno, the banana peppers. But dude, my main one, dude, just green onion. Oh my God. Like I add a little bit of green onion to like a chicken and rice, and I'm like in heaven.
Dude, I'll dump a little bit of the juice from the jar of like the jalapeno,
Yep.
and that's like it like I don't know, makes it a little bit easier to eat the chicken.
Are you a pickle guy? I know Chris
Yeah,
Cass
dude, I got
on
the
the
fuck I
pickle.
got the bread and butters, the zero cals over here right now. I just
Yeah.
had 2 more jars tonight.
What about like are you like a Ninja Creamy guy at all, or you don't really fuck with that?
No, dude, I'll be honest with you. I am not a big eater. Like I could not eat and I would be fine. So like I'm still even in prep is force feeding. So like I don't like eating. I just eat bare minimum and I tell my coach to keep it as fucking simple as possible.
It's easy that way, probably for your coach. What
Yeah,
do you?
dude, it's all chicken and rice for me 3 times
Yeah.
a day, and then I get like my other meal that I get twice a day is just oats and protein shake, and then like peanut butter and stuff like that, banana.
What do you
I'm sure
typically carb
Tim
up
loves
with
that. He's such a like
backstage?
old school, like hardcore, like kind of dude.
What's up?
I said, I'm sure Tim loves that because Tim's such a like just old school kind of hardcore, no bullshit, like bodybuilder type guy. So that's
Yeah, tell him just tell me what the fuck to do. I don't even mind suffering. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
That's the best client though. Like the client who literally doesn't question the plan. Obviously, I would imagine your coach is a pro, has the knowledge, has the physique. So you're like, okay, this is why I trust what he's telling me will work. And so it's like, okay, let's execute. And like for me, when I have guys like that who just execute, you're like, good boy.
I mean, fuck,
it
he
makes
does it
us
for a living. Might as well listen to him, right?
yeah.
Right. It's like, what's the point of having a coach if you're gonna literally try to negotiate every call they make? It's like, well, then coach yourself if you know so much, right?
That's right.
I've even had to have that conversation with clients before who have a hard time. Like, obviously, we're all athletes here, so like we could follow the same diet. Bryce, you just said I could eat the same fucking shit every day. I don't care. That's easy for me. Justin, you're the same. I'm the same. But like when I have clients who can't even follow a diet for a week and then they're trying to like negotiate certain foods with me that clearly are off plan, I look at them and go, you know what? If you know so much about diet and nutrition, write your own diet, follow your own plan, and let's check in next Friday and see how that works.
Yeah. Do you want results?
It's and
You're
that's the
eating for
thing.
fuel. You're not eating for anything else than fuel.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there is obviously ways to make your food taste good, but also like relative, understand that like you're in a deficit eating for functionality to get lean. So like I hate to say it, not every meal is going to taste like Cheesecake Factory. Sorry to break it to you.
Dude, my food tastes great. Once you stop eating bullshit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, your food
Yeah.
tastes great again. You just got to stop doing it.
Well, it's funny you say that too, because like I probably maybe only have like one refeed a month right now, and typically it's a burger and fries. So just because I understand food's a variable and I like to keep things consistent, I'll just get in and out. It's quick, it's easy, it's inexpensive. But lately, the last two, and it's not like anything wrong with how they're preparing it, but like I'll get like a couple bites into my burger and then I'm just looking at it, I'm like, "This shit ain't even that good." Like, and I think that's the funny part is like, that you're now just eating this burger and fries for the functionality of a refeed. But like, I'm almost in my head, like, I'd rather have my chicken and rice with some yellow mustard.
I feel like that's Justin every time.
Unless it's pizza. I know Justin probably like gets a little chub when he gets his pizza.
Pizza's not even like that big of a deal. Like it's like good. I enjoy it, but I don't know. Most of my cheat meals lately have been I'll go to Crazy Bowls and I'll get steak and rice and peppers. And that's like
That's all I want right now. Dude,
yeah.
that's all I fucking want.
Yeah. And it's just like someone else cooked it and I
What,
got some peppers in there.
wait, what is Crazy Bowls? It's like
It's a I mean it's just this
They
little
make basically prep food. It's like fucking,
yeah,
like they'll
grilled
make
steak
it
and
protein
jasmine.
and rice, and it tastes
Yeah.
good.
oh, okay.
So it's literally meal prep, but somebody else cooked it for me.
Dude,
That's it.
I was talking to a buddy of mine who's like a restaurateur, and I was basically like, he follows a specific plan. He's looking great right now, probably the best he's ever looked in his adult life, which is phenomenal. I'm really proud of him. But what we were saying is, it's like there's so few restaurants you could go like and just be like, hey, you know what? Like, can I get 6 ounces of that lean sirloin with 400 grams of rice and these veggies? And like, it's not seed oil, it's not any of this bullshit that's like just extra. And so now, I don't know if it's going to come to life. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but him and one of his clients, who he works with on some restaurant stuff, they're talking about potentially opening like almost like a Chipotle style version. But I think he's already got the trademark for the name, so I can say it. But it's called Macro Bar, and essentially, like us as bodybuilders, like, dude, if I'm fucking busy, but I know I could go to Macro Bar and be like, oh, cool, can I get 6 ounces of the grilled chicken, 400 grams of rice, and then shit, hit me with that yellow mustard, good to go. You know what I mean? But like, dude, there's really no places like that, because even if you go to Chipotle, no offense, Chipotle, but every once in a while I get that shitty piece of chicken. I spit that shit out and I'm not going back to Chipotle for like a month. So it's like, it's just so hard as a bodybuilder. Like, it sounds like the place you guys are talking about is kind of what we have in our mind.
It's not as bodybuilder friendly as
Yeah,
that. It's pretty easy to make it bodybuilder friendly.
yeah, you can have nice food there. Most people eat like shit there.
Yeah, like the bowl that I
That sounds
get,
about right.
it's got some
Yeah.
other stuff in it, but like I take the beans out, I take the avocado out, I take the cheese out, and it's just steak, rice, and like poblano peppers and like I think some green peppers or something and like jalapenos. So it's peppers, rice, and steak. I get all the other stuff taken out. So
Dude,
I
I
mean
don't
it's
think
easy.
there's a single place that is like what you just said out here
Yeah.
that'll like weigh out what you're asking. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
you can go to food prep places, but you're not going to be able to weigh out your food or any of that.
Well, but that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, if I literally, and I don't want to say like I had just these different top plates, but it's like, okay, what are the basic carbs? Okay, I've got rice, I've got maybe quinoa, I've got some sweet potato, like I've got regular potato, like, but again, all cooked in a healthy way where like, I don't want to say that it's only for bodybuilders, but at the same time, like, can we get a fucking restaurant for some bodybuilders? Like, for
Bro,
real?
I would utilize that so hard.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
and also, like, when I say cost effective, we're like, we have a place out here called like Sweet Green, but bro, who's spending $22 on a fucking bowl, especially with if you're bulking or even if you're cutting? I mean, that's going to get pretty costly and pretty expensive very quick. So it's like, if you could, and again, who knows, maybe a year from now we'll be literally being like eating some fucking Macro Bar on the podcast. But like, it's one of those concepts where I feel like you could literally copy paste it in all these different cities where, like, again, it's not like we're the only bodybuilders or we're the only people who eat a healthy diet. So it's like one of those things where, like, if someone really took the time, and hopefully these guys run with this idea, I would love to not just like have it for my own use, but also to be a partner in it. But it's one of those things where it's like, dude, if we could actually execute this, I think it could be, for lack of better words, like the next actual healthy version of Chipotle, where, like, again, name any place you can go, and then in front of you, they're going to take the scale, put your bowl on top, and be like, 400 on the dot, 6 ounces on the dot. You know what I mean? And like, dude, I think that's such a cheat code for as busy as a lot of our lifestyles are.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
spend money there for sure.
Dude, I would go there. And again, if we're talking, say, Chipotle prices, it's a bit more affordable if I'm going to get single meat or even double meat. Like, we're only talking $14, but like, I think at that price point, when you start to hit like over $20 for one meal is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also,
Dude, I can't even go and eat anywhere because I have to track my food. So like
yeah,
I can't go out and eat anywhere.
I see so many of these meal prep companies too that I don't even trust them, because, like, okay, and I'm not going to call them out by name, but like at my gym we have maybe 5 different meal prep companies we work with, and so in the fridges, like, we have all these different meals. Now they're all super expensive. I mean, you're talking like a little Tupperware for like $18, and then I look at the macros or I look what's in it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying $18 for 4 eggs, a little bit of potato, some green onion, and a couple pieces of turkey sausage. Like that's crazy to me. But then I also, as someone who literally like you know like relative like as you're making your rice and you're putting it in a container, you're like, yeah, that's about 400. You put it on the scale, you're like, yep, spot on, because you've done it enough times. So when I'm looking at these meals and I'm like, you're lying about the macros because there's no way that this is 6 ounces of chicken. There's no way this is 200 grams of rice. Like it's literally like a baby pork. Like there's no way. So it's like I don't even like a lot of these meal prep companies because they're so dishonest with like what they're actually even inputting in these meals.
That reminds me, if I ever do get a cheat meal, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like occasionally I would get Chick-fil-A as a cheat meal sometimes. It's been a while, but if I order like a diet, like a Coke Zero or something, a diet pop, I'm always like, did they fucking was this a diet for sure? Because if I drink a real pop, I'm gonna be pissed. I always like that's always in the back of my mind. Did they actually get me a Coke Zero or a diet pop or whatever? I'm always like, I don't trust fast food.
Bro, that shit happened to me just not too long ago. I always do a small sip just to see if it's fucking regular, because I don't drink regular soda. I think it's fucking gross.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about this or not. I don't understand why anybody would drink regular pop when there's diet. Like
there's no nutritional value. Like
a bodybuilder, like why drink 60 grams of pure sugar and bullshit when you can just drink artificial sweeteners, and not be fat? Like pop's not good for you either way, but why drink like 60 grams of sugar and a Mountain Dew when you can just get a diet?
Dude, there's so many options that are just not fucking, so many calories. Why are you doing that? I just don't get it.
That's how I keep going on tangents, but Starbucks is the same way. They're like, honestly, half their shit's not even coffee. It's like coffee flavored fucking ice cream.
It's sugar. It's all fucking sugar.
Pure sugar. And it's like, why would you want 400, 500 calories for your breakfast of just pure sugar? It's just dairy and sugar.
There's no nutritional value. And it's funny you say that because on one of my preps, I had that exact thing happen. It was, I don't know if you guys have Dutch Bros, but it's basically just like a little coffee shop franchise out here. And again, like I'm very particular. I'm just like, hey, can I get a cold brew? What sugar-free syrups do you have? Well, so I get this coffee and I'm in prep. And of course, like, you know how when you're in prep, anything tastes good on your palate, especially if you haven't had it. So like, I literally took a couple sips of this coffee. I was like, oh my God, this is the best coffee I've ever had. But I never go to Dutch Bros. And I'm like, this must be why everyone's saying this is the best coffee. Like there's always a line around the corner. So I'm like drinking this coffee and I start thinking to myself, if it tastes this good, it can't be healthy. So I stopped drinking it and I had like dude, literally, I asked for sugar-free and they gave me the full sugar one. So then when I like looked up the macros on the full sugar version of the sauce, dude, I nearly fucking like lost my shit because I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like freaking out, like not like the world was going to end, but like when you're really dialed in on your nutrition during prep and then like some fucking little punk 16-year-old high schooler ruined my fucking macros for the day because I asked for sugar-free and he gave me all the fucking sugar. I'm like, bro, like, fuck you.
Dude, that would piss me off too. I'm not gonna lie.
I was so heated, and I almost wanted to go. Dude, I almost wanted to go back there with the coffee and be like, "What the fuck is this?" But like, I had to chill. I had to dial it back in. I just threw the coffee out. Didn't go back there again. But low key, it just like left a bad taste in my mouth. Not physically, but like now I'll never go to a Dutch Bros again because I'm like, well, I asked specifically for sugar free, and if you're not going to like give me what I asked for, then I'll just make my own fucking cold brew at home and know what's going. And that's not to sound anal about my nutrition, but it's like that's a lot of times why I don't like going out to eat. This is gonna sound really fucked up, but like for all I know, Jose was just out back smoking a cigarette, took a shit, didn't wipe his hands or wash his hands, and now he's handling my food. And who's gonna get me?
I can't remember who it was. I want to say he was like a bodybuilder coach or something. I forgot who it was, but somebody I think in the fitness world just posted something like it might have been a month ago. And he was like talking about how him and his family got sick after eating at a restaurant, but they all like got better within a day. And then he wasn't getting better. And he went to the doctors and it turned out he had, I think it was hepatitis C. And that is transmitted orally, fecal oral.
Yeah.
Somebody had shit on their hands that handled his food. And he got sick because of it. And like, he'll survive and be okay. But it's a fecal to oral transmission route. And so he's like, somebody at this restaurant must have taken a shit or something and handled his food and got him all messed up. And I'm like, that sucks and it's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Like
That's
flat out
fucking gross.
disgusting. Actually, while we're on the topic, let me ask you guys: do you guys shit in public?
What do you mean?
Like, say you're out and you're running errands, you're at, I don't know, Target, and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta take a shit. Are you gonna shit at the Target in the public restroom, or are you gonna like pinch it and hold it until you get home to shit in your own toilet?
So am I a normal fucking person? Yes, I go to the bathroom when I gotta use the restroom.
Yeah, I don't like to. So if I don't like have to, I won't. But
Dude, if it's fucking gross, I'll leave. But like, yeah, if I gotta go, I gotta go.
yeah, like sometimes I don't have 30 minutes to wait. Like it's gonna be a problem if I want to drive home first and I'm like 23 minutes from home. Like sometimes I can't hold it.
I love Bryce. You mean, am I a normal fucking person? No, like I know some people who literally won't shit in public, and I'm like, okay, like that's kind of a little
They need
crazy.
to grow up.
I do know someone like that, but I'm like, I don't get it. Like I never choose to shit in public, but like sometimes you gotta go. So like I can't hold it for 30 minutes. I will shit my pants. Like
Yeah, bro. Dude, that was me as a kid, funny enough. Like I would not go anywhere but home. Had to be home.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, not anymore.
He said you need to grow up.
Yeah, you gotta grow the fuck up, dog.
grow up.
So wait,
man, wash your hands.
so I'll tell you what's funny is like I don't have a problem shitting in public, but so at the gym I train out of, like on the gym floor we have like basically just it's male or female, whatever. It's just two restrooms, and so it's like on each side of the drinking fountain there's two restrooms. Okay, whatever. So like we always have like a spray in there, and I think the common courtesy would be if you take a shit, like spray after. But bro, there will be some days I'll walk in there, whether it's take a piss, take a shit, and the first thing you open that door and you're just like, whoa, I go, whoa.
Yeah, dude, that's ignorant, bro. That's ignorant.
And I'm like, how can
spray,
someone literally
detergent.
blow this
Yeah,
bathroom
bro.
up and not spray something after? Like the
Bro,
disrespect.
not only that, like, you know, you can flush more than once. Like you're in a
Yeah.
public space. Don't be a
Yeah.
dick.
And also like even
Crazy.
not even just common courtesy. Like I would do it so the next person doesn't have to deal with that. But do you have no shame walking out of a bathroom, leaving it just a mess like that, like just disgusting smelling? Like I think like I want to be courteous to the next person, but also like I don't want to walk out and like you walk in and be like, what the fuck did he do? Like you didn't spray. Like, I would be
Especially if
embarrassed.
there's
Like, I
spray
would be
there, bro.
embarrassed
That's just
to
like
walk in
a
after
given.
you speaks.
The spray is literally like if the toilet's right here, the spray is directly next to it. It's like above the toilet
Jesus.
paper, so you can't miss it. You just have to be a dick. And like
Yeah.
literally, this one day I walked in the bathroom and just the whiff of someone else's diarrhea hit me. I was like, okay, we're going to the other room. I was like, that's crazy.
You're either a dick or you're just a fucking disgusting hamster human.
Well, they're definitely a disgusting human.
What if it were a hot chick? Like say for example, like
She's
like
a fucking
you knock on the door,
bitch,
it's
dude.
locked.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
What'd you say?
I said she's a fucking bitch.
Okay, wait. I hate to say this, but like if I say like I knock on the door, it's locked, and then like I'm kind of keeping an eye to see like when it opens up, not necessarily who comes out, but say hypothetically speaking, this hasn't happened, so I'm not calling any of you females at my gym out, but let's say for example, like a baddie walked out and I walked in and it smelled like shit, I still probably wouldn't lose respect for her. I'd be like, she's hot, it's okay.
Bro, dude, if the spray's right fucking there, just use it. Like, just
Yeah.
use
Like
it.
if I walked in and it still smelled bad, but it also smelled like tropical Febreze because you tried.
Yeah, you
I
tried,
think
bro.
the benefit
Yeah,
of
you
the doubt
tried.
there.
You
'Cause, like I understand the spray isn't like perfect, but at least you tried. So it's tropical shit instead of just pure shit. But if you didn't even try, like that just makes me think like, what kind of person are you? How are you like if you're like this in public, how are you at home?
Oh my God. I can only imagine.
You know, what kind of manner like because I'm on my best behavior when I'm in public. And so I'm gonna be, you know, like I like to keep my place clean, but at the same time, if I'm at someone else's place or a place of business, I'm definitely gonna like clean up after myself, spray in the bathroom, like light a candle, whatever. But
Yeah.
if you can't even do that in public, what are you doing at home? Like that baddie, you're gonna go home with, is she gonna shit with the door open the first night with you and like just let it waft? Like who
How
knows?
bad is she? Like I hate to say this, but there's a scale here. Like if she's bad, I'm probably she's still hot.
I'm fucking so glad I'm married, dog.
I was gonna say Bryce doesn't have to worry about this now. He's locked down in a good spot. So
Bryce, don't worry. I'll call you over and just ask you to come shake the bed. I got this.
Yeah, bro, I got you. Hey, I got you for that.
Bryce, how long you been married for?
Said a little bit over a year.
Yeah. How long did you guys date before you got married?
6 years.
Okay.
And I met her at House of Pain, actually, the first
Oh, no
time.
shit.
Yeah,
Dope.
right when it opened.
That's dope. Does
Yeah.
she compete as well?
She used to.
Okay. So she gets the whole lifestyle.
Yeah, she don't mind that I do it.
That's dope. That's dope. I mean, obviously, like, I think it's different if maybe like you start dating somebody and like you were clearly already like bodybuilding before you guys had met based on how long you've been training. But I think it's obviously like somewhat of an adjustment if like this wasn't your lifestyle prior to, or she never did it, then like how would she kind of like start to understand like, bro, you only eat chicken and rice, you're insane.
Yeah, well, so I still do everything the same. Like I go out and to eat with her, even if I'm not going to eat. I'll still make all of her food. I'll still pick up all of her food. Like nothing changes. I just eat my normal chicken and rice.
Yeah. So that's a good husband right there, though. Again, it's like you make the sacrifice to get to your goal, but also recognize you don't have to force that lifestyle on somebody else. It's not necessarily like your choices are your choices.
Yeah, dude, and she's pregnant right now, especially. So like she eats whatever the fuck she wants right now, and I'll make
Congrats.
sure of it.
I bet she's enjoying those pickles.
No, not yet. She hasn't dug into the pickles yet.
How far along is she?
4 months.
Okay, so about halfway. Do you guys know the gender yet?
Yeah, it's a girl.
A
Little girl, yeah.
let me ask you this. Whether it were male or female, it's kind of irrelevant, but obviously you being as deep into the bodybuilding lifestyle as you are, is that something like you would, if say like your daughter is growing up and she's like, hey dad, like I know you used to compete, I want to get into it. Is that something you would be supportive of and encourage? Or would you be like, hey, like it's not necessarily the best, healthiest thing? Or what's your take?
Whatever she wants to do, I don't care.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope.
as long as it's not like,
I'm
something
taking
wrong.
trend, dad.
Yeah, like I don't care. I'm trying to push golf though. Like it's golf first over everything. But
Okay.
then, whatever. If she
No,
wants to,
I just asked because obviously, like, if we were like MMA fighters, obviously that's a tough living where you're getting punched in the face all the time. But if you have a child, inherently, I feel like they would look up to you and want to probably do the same thing. And you're like, hey, like, I'm not saying no, but recognize getting punched in the face ain't an easy way to make a living, you know?
yeah. So my parents were bodybuilders, so
Oh,
like that's
shit.
kind of that's why I got started.
That's dope. How far did your parents go with it?
Like I'll send you pictures later. So my stepdad he's big as fuck. Like he's like he would have been like a heavy, but he never competed. But he was always lean year round.
Yeah.
And then my mom never competed. Same thing. You're lean as fuck year round. But that just made me get into the gym, and
Yeah, I would imagine that had some impact on just like you wanting to do it, kind of like we were just talking about. But that's actually dope that because I think not even from like the competition or bodybuilding aspect, but just healthy habits of eating right,
that's
training
the
hard.
standard. I was
Yeah,
raised on that being the standard.
it's like I couldn't even imagine like when I like my parents always kept like healthy food in the house. They don't really drink, they don't smoke. So like I was raised in a very healthy environment. And then when I see people who, for lack of better words, like they're just a complete slob, but then I come to see that their parents are also slobs. I'm like, oh, well, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. And you
Exactly.
probably never actually ate or purchased apples. So um let me
Dude,
see.
that's why it's so
My
fucking
coach
huge.
is
So
calling.
go
What's
ahead,
that?
Justin.
I said I got to wrap it up for the night. My coach is calling. I got to get on and check in with him actually.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it's getting late for you guys. Is there anything else you guys want to do real quick before we wrap up? Bryce, you want to
Oh,
give any shout outs for any discount codes, any companies you're working with, Instagram?
results
I don't know.
and
Anything you want
results.
people to come find you?
If you don't already, go follow Will Bates. He's
Yes.
already on the show. Go follow him. That's it.
Will's
That's
the
all I
man.
got. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Go
Hey,
follow
Will.
Bryce. Follow Bryce's business page. What is it? Parrot Projects and Paint.
Parrot Paint Projects. That's my business account.
All right.
Yes, sir. Go
Give
show
Bryce-
some love to his business account. And Will, if Will's listening to this, I hope he's having a speedy recovery. I know he just got out of the hospital with like a nasal surgery, so hopefully he can breathe now. I probably got to get that done soon too. But
Me too,
always
bro.
appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, Bryce, we'll definitely get you back again. Good luck. If I don't talk to you on this, obviously we'll talk outside of this. But if I don't talk to you before you compete, man, best of luck, rooting for you, and appreciate you guys listening. We'll leave all their links down below so you can go follow them. And yeah, love you guys. Peace.